Hello and welcome. This is day 16 of Walking the Quiet Path, and today we're exploring the quiet science of noticing. My name is Cate Field, and if you're just joining now, don't worry, each session stands on its own, and you're welcome to go back and begin at day 1 if you wish, but it's not absolutely essential. Some people like to follow the days in sequence and others like to just dip in and out, choosing what you need most in the moment. Both ways are perfectly fine. This series is based on my book, The Quiet Path, 30 Days of Creative Reflection, and each session offers a gentle invitation to slow down, to reflect, and to create with no pressure and no expectation. My approach is simple and hopefully encouraging. You're free to respond however you like, through art, words, movement, or simply through your own thoughts and awareness. There is no right or wrong here. There's just space to notice and to begin. So today, let's take a deep breath and step quietly into the act of noticing. Everything in nature waits to be seen. The way a droplet clings to the edge of a leaf, trembling but never falling. The way a bee hovers, deciding before dipping into a bloom. The way light shifts on water, remaking the world in ripples and reflections. The more you slow, the more you see. The more you see, the more you belong. Observation is an art, a science, a practice. The world unfolds in small, quiet ways, with details so subtle they disappear in haste, but come alive in stillness. And what happens when you give your full attention to something small, something ordinary? When you truly notice a pattern, a movement, a shift in light? Noticing is a form of belonging. It roots you in the present, connects you to the rhythms of the world around you. So today, we're going to practice the art of deep noticing. Observe, linger, let your senses take in the unnoticed, and let your creativity emerge from what you truly see. Your creative invitations. Painting and drawing. Illustrate a detail most people would just overlook. A droplet, a shadow, the intricate veins of a leaf or a petal. For writing, describe a single small moment in exquisite detail as if seeing it for the first time. For sculpting or textile art, work on a small, delicate scale, something intricate, something textured or layered with patience. For photography, capture a tiny detail that might otherwise go unseen, like dew on the grass or the edge of a feather, the light catching a piece of fabric. For mixed media, create a piece where layers and details emerge the longer one looks. And your sensory prompt, choose one small thing to observe, a flower, a glass of water, a shifting shadow, and spend 5 minutes just looking. Notice its edges, its movement, its light. Observe the way your own perception changes as you continue to watch. And let this experience guide your creative practice today. Well, my garden is a riot of colour at the moment. It's absolutely beautiful with the flowers, and so I'm going to look at in detail at some of my dahlias. I will put a little photo up to show you. And I mean, look at those colours, just adorable. I'm going to be using my favourite Faber-Castell colouring pencils.
I really like them. They blend beautifully. Yes, they are quite expensive, but you can buy individual pencils, and I've used these for years and I just absolutely love them. So I'm going to choose some pinks, some violets, some purples. There's little touches of orange. I'll take that mauve as well, I think. And then I've got some kind of a burgundy colour. I'm going to take that one as well. And some various shades of green. So I'm just going to pop those away. I'm going to do this in my sketchbook and just enjoy enjoy the process, as I talk about a lot in my art videos. Thank you so much for everyone who's commented. You take the time to comment, and I really do appreciate that. It's what a lovely community we have here. In this world we can be a little bit negative about all the horrible things that are going on, but there are actually an awful lot of truly lovely people around, and I think if we can focus on that a little bit more, then perhaps the world will be a better place. Perhaps it will. So I'm just sharpening my pencils. It's really important when you're using colouring pencils, whatever they are, is to keep them very clean and keep them very sharp. So I'm going to just start off with some pinks. I'm not going to use a graphite pencil or anything like that. Let's just put those there for the minute. I did actually print out my flower, so I didn't want to pick it because it's just so lovely. So I took quite a few photographs, and so I will use that as a reference. But that's what it is. It's a reference, and what I'm going to do is just sort of focus on some kind of very small details, the intricate shape of these petals, because they're quite complex when you really look at them. And this is the thing, isn't it? When we just glance, we don't really look. And so I'm just focusing on one petal in this piece. And when we do things like this, the next time I kind of go out into the garden, I would just see it in a slightly different way. I will notice things that perhaps I didn't notice before. And I think this is why I've called this chapter the science, the science of noticing, because there's a bit of psychology involved, I think. But it's about, again, allowing ourselves to take time. I'm just using this pencil first, just in this pale pink, this rose colour. And I'm not sort of aiming to do a botanical study. All I want to do in this piece is to really observe and then to see where that might take me. So the actual practice of doing this is quite mindful. Just going to add a darker bit in here. This is why I love these pencils. They blend beautifully. I'll put a link below to them. And I was given this whole set as a present, which was very lovely. But like I said, you can just buy individual pencils, so you can slowly build up your own collection. So I'm just sort of seeing where the lines of the petals go. So I'm going to do a little study of this dahlia, and then I'm going to have a look at a leaf from my horse chestnut tree, because the colours are just gorgeous. They're like lime green, which is just lovely. And I do like doing this sort of exercise with my students and just really getting them to observe, to take time. And I think as adults, especially older adults like I am, we can feel a little bit guilty about taking time to do this sort of thing. But if we see it as our well-being practice for making us feel good, then it becomes more important. And it's just so important that we do give ourselves time. So again, I'm just sort of blending these as the petals are coming together. And I'm just sort of really looking closely at how they overlap. Don't worry about getting it right. All I would like you to do, all I am inviting you to do, is to closely observe and then see what happens. And if things don't quite go how you want them to, then that's okay. It doesn't matter. And you might be doing one of the other invitations. I'm going to do a bit of writing later today as well, actually. I'm just going to make it slightly darker on this bit here. That shadow. Again, I'm just enjoying putting the pencil on the paper. Enjoying giving myself time to do this. So I'm going to do a little bit more of this. We'll come back in a moment. I've done a little bit more on this, just slowly building up the petals and seeing where the shadows fall, the different shades of pink. And I use a technique with a sort of circular movement for this particular one, because you can get the blend then, which is really nice. I'm going to say these pencils blend really beautifully, but you could also use watercolour pencils, and of course you could use paints and crayons, and use whatever medium you want, actually. And it's kind of one of those things where in my classes and my workshops, I really do encourage people to explore different types of media, which is really nice. But also, if you've got a favourite, then this is your opportunity to just really enjoy it and get better and better at your favourite one. And that's all good, isn't it? So it's a bit darker, it's more sort of purpley in the centre. I've got a bit of shadow. And when I look really, really carefully, I can see that there are lines, very faint lines. I'm just going to pop those in. Just sort of try out different shades. And then I started to do some of the orangey yellowy stamen because it is very, very bright. And I do like that contrast with the pink. I think it makes it look very exciting. That's why I love dahlias. So, yeah, you can tell me what you're thinking that you might do. I know that some of you will watch all the way through and then come back, and some of you will just work at the same time as me. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever feels good for you. But it is that thing of really noticing what is going on. And I've got this lovely fold here. I'm going to get that, and then that petal goes over the top. And then underneath this is darker. I'm going to go in with some shadows a bit later, and I'll use navy blue or a dark blue rather than black. I think it works better, I think. See, I'm just gradually building up the layers of this lovely dahlia. Looking at the patterns as the petals come out. Oh, it's just so beautiful. I'm going to play with this one a little bit more. I'm just going to put a little bit of green in the background. Again, it's that kind of interesting complementary colour of violet and green, pink and green. Just a little bit of foliage there. I'm going to enjoy working on this one over probably the next few days, actually, which would be really nice. But I'm now going to have a look at my leaf. So with my leaf, well, my leaves of my horse chestnut tree, again, I'm just going to use colouring pencils, and I've drafted out the shapes because what I really was interested in, just have a look at this, is the shadows. So the sun shining this way, casting a shadow on this leaf, and then there's sort of red stalks of the leaves, and then the patterns. So I'm just going to do a little bit to show you, but I really wanted to kind of emphasize this bit in the middle, and I'm just going to put the reds to one side for a moment. I'm going to start off with a green in this middle bit, and again it's that looking really closely at those edges, and then I will put in some detail. Now I'd forgotten actually how much I enjoy doing this sort of drawing. And I mean, I love doing my abstract stuff and my watercolours and my acrylics, but I really do love working with colouring pencils too. So I am going to be working on this, I think, this one and the dahlia for a while, and I'll show you in another tutorial later if you'd like me to. Again, I'm just putting in this sort of paler green as the background. I've put in the line where I think that shadow is. Again, using the pencil quite softly to begin with. And then I can start to sort of build it up. But the shape of the shadow I just thought was really interesting. I do love that. It kind of becomes quite abstract. So I put that line across there. That doesn't work very well, does it? Let's cover that one up with the red. Again, it's that kind of noticing the different shades of green and the different shades of red. Again, these are our native plants here in England. I would encourage you to look outside your front door. I think when we work with things that are close to us, things that are important to us, things that are in our location, then our work can become really strong and meaningful. Now, I know that some of you really like working in your sketchbooks and your art journals, and this would be great. You could do this in your art journal. You could do a little illustration, and then you could write a bit of prose or poem. That would be really lovely. I haven't written any poems for a couple of weeks, actually. I need to get going with that. I've got lots of ideas, I just haven't written them down. So I'm sure that would be familiar. So this shadow I'm doing in this olive green, and I may well do it darker, but not quite at the moment. Just going to do the shadows on this. Again, it's very much, I just wanted to show you my starting point, really, because you will have your own. But sometimes it's quite nice to have a demonstration of something, and then you can completely ignore it, of course, and do your own thing. There we go. There's some more kind of patterns of shadow on there. I'll do a little bit more of that. I will show you a little bit of my finished piece, but it won't be finished at all. Just a little bit more of detail at the end. So I just returned to this one. I've been putting in some sort of darker shadows, just using a purple, just really looking at those details. It's just it's just such a lovely thing to do. And these colours, I'm very much enjoying the colours. And like I said, I'll keep adding to this, I think. And I'll just show you the leaves. So I did a bit more on the shadows, and I used the different shades of green that you get with these pencils. And then once I'd done some of the details, I took my sort of paler cadmium lemon yellow and just sort of blended over the top, just sort of to blend all of the different tones in. And again, this will be one that I'll add a little bit more to over the next few weeks.
Thank you for joining me today and for making the time to notice, to truly notice what is around you. And I really hope you have enjoyed it. And as I drew those lines of the single petal and the curve of that leaf and the edge, I was reminded how much detail the world holds if we're quiet enough to receive it. This kind of noticing isn't just an artistic exercise. It's a way of being more present, more connected and more alive. If you'd like to continue walking this path, you can find the full book, The Quiet Path 30 Days of Creative Reflection, in the link below. There's also a free sample that you're welcome to download and explore. And if this session brought you a moment of calm or insight, I'd be so grateful if you'd consider liking the video, perhaps subscribing to the channel, or perhaps even sharing it with someone who might need a little stillness today. Next time, we'll continue with day 17, Where the World Softens. And I do hope you will return. Until then, be gentle with your gaze. The world is full of quiet marvels just waiting to be seen. Take care. Bye-bye.